this as a way of giving comfort and giving confidence to our guests whenever they walk in the street. Because when you drive your way through, you enter here, you need to sit down a little bit relaxed. Varney, our guest is here already.
Thanks a lot, JKB. And of course, we're in conversation with the man whose import created an imprint during the outbreak of the Ebola virus in Liberia. The man who played the role of Medicine Sans Frontiere on the part of Liberia by crossing borders, the Doctors Without Borders. We're in conversation with District 13 Representative Saah Joseph this morning to talk about some key issues relating to development in this district. What has it been reporting to people in this district, and then principally we're going to talk about a reduction, call for reduction in the salary of government officials to ensure that the Liberian economy experience some level of resuscitation. So Honorable Joseph, I'd like to say good morning, welcome to the breakfast show this Friday.
Well, good morning, and thank you for inviting me.
And thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Good morning to the people of Liberia, and to be specific, the people of District Number 13 must rather come.
But this is our first interaction with you.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so in as much as the discussion relating to the district is going to take much of our time, we'll start off with the one that is going to be very concise, which is the salary quote. As a man being branded humanitarian, what is your take on this when people say the people's living conditions should be improved, and in order for this to be improved, these are measures that should be taken, and one of those have got to do with salary deduction of lawmakers. What do you make of that?
Brilliant idea.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%. That there's a need to cut down on salaries and try to come up with some developmental agenda. But what I don't agree with is that the money going back for appropriation. No, let the money be set aside for specific projects.
Okay.
So,
Like a special account.
yes.
Okay.
That because listen to me, I want to see what my cut down pay have done. I agreed, but what's the impact they're going to make on the people? I want to point out to something. Last month my salary was cut down, and this is what the governor of Liberia built.
So you don't have confidence in the executive?
That's not what I'm saying.
No, but when you say...
Listen to me, excuse me. If you're talking about executive, there are many areas that they can cut down on or get resources from to be able to come up with projects. But if you want to specifically ask government officials for money from the salary to cut down the paycheck to implement projects that better the lives of the people, I agree. But there should be procedures. One, let those money be set in a separate account where those money will be given to that and get an agency that is responsible. We all will point fingers to that this money, because that agency will be accountable to us. Because we have if we come up to make that decision, we all going to agree and come up with a resolution. But then we want to point out at the end of the day, last month this is what we built from a salary.
So if this is not done, if a special account is not set up,
I will not support money just going back to Ministry of Finance. I will support money being cut from a salary escrow account and given to a specific agency to implement that project and be accountable to us, to show us our paycheck that was cut, how much money was given.
Which agency will you suggest if it were to be?
How much what?
Which agency will you?
No. They can come up with their own agency, which has near a specific agency. You understand?
A list for short.
Yeah, Liz is a credible entity. I know the people at Liz, even they hear these guys are credible. In fact, President the National Legislature will have listened to the projects that
and
they are implementing that. And let me tell you something, those projects are far better than the County Development Funds project because they are moving very fast. The head of Liz and the engineer team visit frequently on the site. They monitor the entire process. So if we want to say list, fine. Then today lawmakers can say the legislative project for District Number 13. This is what we have done.
But after this idea started generating debate about reduction in your salary or government official salary, and you have got this idea you consider as brilliant, that is an extra account. Why didn't you bring this on the floor, telling your colleagues?
No. The issue have not come for full discussion yet.
Okay.
It's proposed.
That's a proposed discussion. And when individuals come up with those proposals, then you have to study it. First of all, whether you buy the idea, I've already bought the idea now, but the method behind it. Like in other countries, it took place in Sierra Leone. And they set up with an entity that is responsible for that called National Commission for Social Action, NACSA. NACSA is established in every county. They have a head office. Now, if we even establish such an entity, you know what happens? There will be a lot of job creation. Contractors will be able to work and what have you. What I'm saying, not that I don't trust the people at Ministry of Finance, but I don't want to overburden them to keep track of money coming again and all of those things. Let those money be kept in a specific area. Let us say, be happy that this is what we have. We took those decisions and this is what we are seeing.
If you were to talk about your own assessment over the years you've been doing, making appropriation, what is your assessment of the executive with respect to implementation?
Well, I think they're doing very well. Honestly speaking, because road network, I drove from here, I went to Bikena, I took a small ride, and they go into Ganta, another small ride, and making effort also in the city. But I think more need to be done. And what is frustrating is that those government agencies that's responsible need to be very fast to work. Look here, for instance, there are a lot of funding that the World Bank gave to LEC to be able to connect slum communities. The management is very slow in doing what it's supposed to do to get those communities connected. Even if they will not be connected with the generator of the electricity, but plan the poles, let them know that there's hope coming. You understand? But I mean, they sit forever.
The person is not being felt.
Again, World Bank is complaining. They may take off some of the money away. Other countries are moving very fast towards that. Why are they very slow? So what we are saying in a sense, what I'm saying in a sense is that let those agencies, you understand, responsible, work with the agenda of the president by moving very fast on those things. She has 2 more years. And then we need to work. They need to work.
You think more can be realized?
Yeah, exactly. If they concentrate and ready to work, trust me, they can get it done.
But you're also aware lots of abandoned projects all over the place, especially these independent projects and things.
Independent projects from whom?
From the government side, in the various county, Barcode for sure. PNC just posted everything on the internet.
What is PMC?
The project management of various counties and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the county development funds project.
Yeah.
So that's lot of protocol. This is why the legislative process is very fast because it's moving, it's being handled by lays and things. And if you were asking me personally, I would say stop the county development funds. Let's concentrate on the legislative project. Let us continue to implement that. You understand? I mean, they will go far because most of those contractors, first of all, you have to pre-finance. Now, when you pre-finance, in order for you to pre-finance the contract, you have to go and credit money from the bank. Now, when the bank gives you money, they tell you, say, okay, well, you have to pay from this time to this time, and then you start the contract. Another thing is that you delay. The bank will not trust you to give you money again. In the process, the counties will take you so long.
Do you think it's bottlenecks that are causing a delay in the implementation of the projects?
Well, I think the procedure and look, most of those contractors implementing those projects need to we need to revisit the law. If those companies are credible companies, then let's trust them. And give them like 20% or 30%. Because if the company goes to the bank and take a loan of $50,000, let's say they are implementing a project of 100,000, then they go and take a loan of 50,000. When they have completed cutting down everything, you know how much they're going to get? They're going to approximately get up to 35,000. So 15,000 is gone already. It's insurance. this payment, all of the charges of the bank interest and every other thing. At the end of the day, what would the company realize?
So there were the losses.
Yeah.
But the little project is also geared towards just keeping some of you in government. I'm sure that's what you want to rely on.
You don't want us in government? People appreciate us. If JKB, I know you want to see me in government.
No, one like you. Many of the people said no.
Before we go over to talk about this street issue, finally on this situation with the salary deduction or so, when you come up to support the idea that salary should be deducted and redirected to impact the lives of the people, is it anyway a further interpretation that over the years we've observed that our salary we've been taking have actually been hurting the people, so we've realized our mistake, this is what we are doing to rectify?
Let me just say
is that the interpretation?
Let me say that even our salary that we are taking is not sufficient. Comparing that with what we are doing. Normally we are there for a proposed job. You understand? Oversight, representation, and lawmaking.
Okay.
Now, but we are now there to implement projects. We are going into communities, building toilets. We are paying school fees. Leaving from here, I'm going to AMU and UMU to go and start paying school fees, where we have students from the district on scholarship. Great school.
Is it from your personal investment or is district funding?
What we're going to be submitting
Today.
is not from the district.
Okay.
It's money from my own personal pocket.
Okay.
You understand? And I have rated the superintendent
Okay.
to see how best she can join to help us, because I can't complete all of the payment. And I also have to work with some of the corporates within the district. I have engaged Simeco in the past. Simeco have been helping to pay fees for our students at AMU and UMU. And I engaged APN Terminal. In fact, APN Terminal gave the last time 18,000 United States dollars for the corporate social responsibility. 11,000 some was sent to MVTC to support our 250 students.
I'll still take it back to the question I asked you, but with the situation of Simeco, how has it been like? Because there were times that your people came up to you saying the cement there were actually causing pollution there.
Well, first of all, before the election, I came up and I said, look, when I win, I'm going to take Simeco to court. I made that statement. And after the election, it was the first time for the community leaders in the surrounding community for them to sit with Simeco face to face and have a dialogue. They proposed, they came up and all agreed and said, look, Honorable, despite you are going the route, but let's have a dialogue. So I came up with a dialogue plan, wrote Simeco, and Simeco sat down with the community leaders, and then we came up with a resolution. That's how the scholarship began. And Simeco have been giving hands to those communities in terms of projects, working on drainages. And then the next thing that was high on our agenda in our discussion was to change the mill. Because the mill that was being used there was brought in the 60s.
Was it changed?
It's changed. That mill was changed.
So
it cost them more than $10 million. Moving again. But it doesn't mean it's 100%. You understand? So, but I can tell you, for every time before I visit that community, I will get sick. So I will prepare myself, oh, I'm coming to visit, then I prepare my medication because I'm going to be sick for 2 weeks. But now, when I visit, I'm not sick. You understand? So, with the certification done by EPA, I'm also certified with that. That is perfectly done. And they are meeting with the corporate social responsibility.
Moving on to the situation in your district, you've said that your salary in no way you think is hurting the people in a poor country like Liberia.
Let me just come, before we come to this, let me just say something. Thank God you are quoting me. When Ebola had struck Liberia, I went to the bank and took 150,000 to ship equipment, to ship ambulances, to provide fuel for the teams and other things. I'm paying that money until 2018. I'm walking away every month $1,500 US. Go to the bank, I can give you the statement. I gave my salary to the people of this country long since 2013. I have the record.
You did
This
that.
is-
It was
this is a
something
low-
that you did before Ebola hit in, or when Ebola came, you just needed to help them, so you did it.
Well, when I went to the States,
Mm.
I got equipments and ambulances. And I look at it there, look, what's going to happen if I contact the government? I contacted the government, and unfortunately, I was let down. The equipment that was to come to JFK, I was let down, so we couldn't ship it. So Ghana and Nigeria and the Philippines took all of the equipment.
Wow.
$5 million for equipment, and we needed 100
Any reason for
and
that?
75,000. Well, they said there was no funding available.
Okay.
Now, when I got the ambulances, with my first experience, linking on government, and then they let me down, it was not possible. I said, this trip, we need those ambulances. It will not be, I need to do all I can.
Okay.
So I first went and got 75,000. I was able to ship those ambulances. The first two pieces that even came to Liberia, the Ministry of Finance asked me to pay taxes on it. I freed them.
You don't have duty free? I thought you have duty free.
Well, they said there was no ambulance
Okay.
for coming up with duty free on
Okay.
that. Now, I agree, I pay. You understand? And after the payment, in 3 months' time, Ebola hit Liberia.
Okay.
Those ambulances were used for those purpose. Now, again, I started shipping other medical stuff, and I went again when Ebola hit Liberia, not getting support from Ministry of Health or from the government. I asked the GTB manager, may his soul rest in peace, Mr. Dan, who I spoke my honest self to him, and then he said, with this, I must help. And they were able to approve another 75,000.
Okay.
And then I took that again, and that's why I was using until it got finished. I started looking around, talking to friends to help. So I waived my salary before even this decision is made.
Okay.
So I'm a living testimony.
Okay.
And it's not an easy thing. This is what I said. It's not sufficient because the situation of our people now is not easy. Number of students sitting home not going to school. Students have graduated since in the 80s. Most of the people want to go back to school, but they don't have the means. Now, they come to you every day. Children want to go to school, they don't have the means to pay school fees. Their parents don't have the means. I have 3 schools within the district that I'm struggling to run as well. One of the schools is 1,600 students. You understand? So it's very expensive to get some of those things going. So it's not a new thing to me coming that look, waive your salary. So maybe the 1,500 I'm getting at the end of the month, if they want 1,000, I can give them 1,000. But then I stay with the 500. The only thing is that let us point at the end of the month that my money
This
was
is
given.
tangible.
And this is because I can point to the success of the $150,000 I took from the bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can feed the success. Everybody in Liberia can feed the success. I'm in a happy living with it. I'm happy paying until 2018.
Okay.
You understand? So
Okay.
You may be doing this, but many others did previously when they were contesting or they had a desire to contest. But by the time they won, sitting down there, it's no longer their
I'm speaking
responsibility.
about Saah.
I'm just asking in a case of where others have said, no, this is not a responsibility. But you keep doing what you're doing. Why?
Well, I love doing because I was doing this before I even became a lawmaker. I was even doing more than 5 times than this because I built 30 schools in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
I was director for international missions for West Africa, where I take care of Sierra Leone, Senegal, and Liberia projects. And I received money for 1 year project at once. And all of the funding that given to me, I implement my projects.
Okay, let us use the next 20 minutes to talk about situations in your district. We understand you've been reporting to your people. How's it been going?
Well, what I'm doing, for the past time, we call for reports. Community leaders come out. We give community leaders the copy of the report at the end of the day. They go back home. And that trickle-down effect of that report is not going back to the people.
Okay.
Because some of those community meetings are not called, they still complaining and what have you. So now I have a new situations that I put together, new phase of this. Instead of the people complaining, myself will go to the people.
The Jehovah Witness type.
So I go into the community set up, as the community chairman will organize a meeting, go there, sit with the people, they ask questions, I answer. They come up with the concerns, the project and proposals, the issues that they want me to speak about at the national legislature, issue of concern. They bring up those issues, I take note of them, give them issues that we have, also they give advices to those things. And at the end of the day, I come up and we come up with a proposal. What are the needs of that community that I have visited?
So prior to you consulting the community to get their needs, which of course we will try to ascertain what are some of those issues that came up, what did you report to the people that this is what I did during my period at the legislature during our sitting?
Well, I was able to propose bills which are critical bills, and the one of my colleagues said is very expensive. Like I proposed a law where the government of Liberia should take control of the educational program. The educational program is like a business in Liberia. It shouldn't be that way. You can even come up tomorrow, you start a school and nobody care about you. Now, the government of Liberia should control the educational system. Schools that meet the requirement of being a school should be established. Then the government of Liberia should take responsibility to pay all teachers in Liberia.
Even if it is a private school?
Of course, it's happening in Sierra Leone. I established 30 schools in Sierra Leone. Those schools, before government approved them, it took me 5 years. They begin government feeder schools, which they receive materials, chalk, then they send the teachers to school. When they graduate, while they're in school, in fact, government gave them stipends.
But here is the situation.
Yeah.
You want to see us decommodify education. In the process of decommodification of education, and then looking at the economic burden on the society also, compare and contrast.
We need
Is it possible for Liberia?
It's possible. There's nothing impossible. If it is, can be possible for Sierra Leone, it can be possible for Liberia. Let me just tell you something. When we went to Sierra Leone in the 90s, a lot of things that were in Liberia we couldn't see them in Sierra Leone. Today, Sierra Leone have gone far ahead of Liberia because they have a system there. First of all, one, we need to draw up our priorities. That's why I'm giving our difficulties. What is our priority? One of our priorities we could say health, education, you understand? Youth empowerment.
Just target it.
And target it. You understand? Construction of roads. Sierra Leone targeted roads. Today, you can leave from Freetown, you go Conakry, pave. You leave from Freetown, you go to Kenema, pave. You leave from Freetown, you go into Kalahun district, pave, which is 20 miles away from Foya, pave. You understand? Why they came up with those results? Because that was the priority, that was the target.
So when you prioritize one or two sectors, leaving out abundance of sectors.
Then when you, excuse me now, when you come up with your priorities, then you work with your partners. All of the money did not come from Sierra Leone. Now, who are those that are serving as partners in education in Liberia? International organizations, national organizations. They receive tons of money for Liberia in terms of education. Have you seen, are we getting results from those funding they are receiving? They have no funding they are receiving this for Liberia, not for them. So we should tell them what our priorities are. We want to see every town and villages, we want to see schools there. It happened in Sierra Leone, they came up with this program called Sababu Education, which means every 10 houses should have a school and a hospital. Yes. So when you are driving from the border, from Bogota, going to Kenema, all of the towns and villages, you see that they have schools, they have clinics, but nobody in the schools and nobody there. But they are there kept for the future. You understand?
You don't think it's a waste?
It's not a waste. When I mean they are there kept, you have some schools, you have only 20 children in this village. They go into school.
But why make it combined? You know,
you get about 30 miles to the next village, you come to combine. Who going to transport them from there? So what I'm saying in the sense is that when we prioritize education in Liberia, and then we come up with the concept that we're going to pay our teachers after verification, you understand? Every teacher should be verified. Those that are qualified will be put on government salary.
Okay.
Those that are not qualified will not be thrown away.
Okay.
They will be,
Excuse me.
excuse me,
Like
they will be
here.
trained and qualified, then they be given a code, they be paid by the day. You know what happened? You control it by now coming to tell all schools how much is for registration fees.
In
You
as
understand?
Completely.
Then how much for school fees? But now, government don't have control over those private institutions.
No,
So
no.
everybody can come up, you come up with your own press.
That's how it is.
That's it. So you have one teacher teaching to 5 different schools, which in other countries not like that.
Okay.
When you are assigned to the school, that's your school.
Okay, so Honorable Sir Joseph, you were given a mandate. So, in as much as you talk about this education aspect of
We'll talk
what
about
you've been
more
doing,
education
we'll talk
matters.
about, you can come, JKB will take you on that. But let us give you the next.
So that was one of the issues that
Yes,
was.
I want you to use the next 2 minutes because people in your district are actually following the broadcast right now. So use the next 2 minutes to talk about what you've been able to do for the people, in spite of all of the ambulances we saw.
Let's forget about the ambulances.
Let us talk about
Now, what we just did a few months ago, I found a bus. I sat down. County development funds is not working as it should be.
Okay.
Too many needs within the district. Well, what am I going to do? I've got $20,000. Can $20,000 change the situation in Liberia? No. In my district, no. So what I did, go to the find a bus that I purchased and donated the bus to the community leaders. They set up their own committee that take care of it. Now the bus run every 3 to 1 month period. The bus generate money, and that 100,000 is given to a community to do community projects. Now I'm happy that I did that because it's successful.
It's working?
It's working perfectly because I am thinking about now, thinking about it, if I can find any means to raise money to make it 2.
Okay. It's one currently.
One presently.
Okay.
Then the reason it's been successful because there's a community where they've been suffering from the water situation. This community is in existence. They don't have a bridge. But guess what? When they received the 100,000, the community leaders, women, children, the whole saying they have completed the construction of the bridge.
Wow.
Not just that. Another community, Dakwita, that we just gave their own money to. We have given them the money. This community have been struggling with water. Now they are thinking about coming to do 2 hand pumps where they can have clean and drinking water.
Okay.
The next thing is that this bus have been able to raise money as well. We just completed a community hall in Basseterre,
Okay.
New Jersey Basseterre. That is complete. It's about completion. What remains now is to do the painting. We turn it over to the community. That hall will be used for community income generating,
Okay.
which the community can rent it for other activities. They raise money. That's one we have done.
Okay.
Now, the next thing is that we're looking at the youth empowerment. Still, people, individuals sitting and have graduated from high school more than 10, 15 years. They want to go to school, they want to learn, but they don't have the opportunity.
Okay.
I was able to work very hard with the MVDC Technical College. We have a space of 250 students, only from district number 13.
Wow.
Those 250 students will attend until they graduate free of charge. We are going to pay. And we have completed, they have completed their entrances. They are paid for the teachers. They are now ready to go to school. If MVDC open today, our students for district number 13 will be ready to go to school. You understand? Now, not just that, I have engaged corporates within our district where those students will work. At the end of the month, they get something for transportation.
Okay.
During the weekend period.
Drink it there.
Exactly.
Okay.
You understand? Like most of those guys will be learning the technical stuff, and the amount for them to complete the course is $30,000 United States dollars. We have just completed a payment of $11,700, and then I told them immediate school start, we'll start working again around our corporates, and that's why I want to give a special thanks to ABN Terminal.
Okay.
They makes that money available to give to MVDC.
Since you've been in the district as a lawmaker, if you were to say what you think have been circulating in the district that is negative about who Sir Joseph is, What is that thing that you want to provide clarity to?
Well, one of the things they say, Sir Joseph have moved. And
Meaning you don't live in
I don't live in the district. And that's a strategy of some of those individuals who are behind people. Look, I want you to run, only to solicit, to come to get a daily bread from them. And tell them, say, look, you can make it. You understand? I'm not, well, first of all, I always tell people District 13 is for everybody. Anybody that want to be a lawmaker, I say, look, go and try. And then I also tell some individuals come to me, how you became successful, and I explain to them how it started. And I encourage them, in order to be a lawmaker for this district, this, what you need to do, and this is what I did. I'm not a selfish person. You understand? So that's one of the issues they raise, but which of course is one, it's not true. They also raise another issue that Sir Joseph is building a big mansion in Sierra Leone, or Sir Joseph is building another big mansion on Ralphie Highway, and anybody come up with just a picture and prove it that this house belongs to Sir Joseph in Sierra Leone or on Ralphie Highway, I'll give you a $5,000 prize. I want you to challenge anybody. These are just men propaganda. You understand? Now the next issue they come up with is that, look, he's not doing anything. Now, with what I have named, we have a clinic that is presently ongoing. And I just brought this in your studio.
As a result of the past project?
No. The clinic that is ongoing is the County Development Fund. You see this? Every year I'm shipping 5 medical containers to Liberia. And
that's
those
the company, Gateway Medical Alliance.
Exactly. I have a discussion with them. Everything that they gave me is free of charge. You understand?
And that's why you've been taking to other countries as well.
That's it. You understand? So this is just this. I have to pay for the shipping. To ship one container is $7,000 from Washington State. You understand? Only because that means when the shipper know you. But if the shipper don't know you, it's about $8,000 to $10,000.
Many a times when these things are being done, sometimes the expectation, this is more like, you could see this question, like, I want to digress a bit, but when you were going around with the ambulance, when you went to Freetown during the height of the Ebola crisis, people started associating Sir Joseph with other, perhaps wanting to go at another level. I know you've been hearing about that. Are you telling me about that?
Listen to me. First of all, going to Sierra Leone was in the interest of the people of Liberia. Not in my interest, but in the interest of people of Liberia. And us, not in my own personal interest, but we Liberians are alive. Because let me tell you something. I lived in Sierra Leone for 15 years as a refugee. And people will tell you, those that live in Sierra Leone, that presently even in this government will tell you that, look, what we did get from Sierra Leone from the refugee camp is education. Because the government of Sierra Leone came up and said, look, this you must support the refugees to go to school. And that's what one of the supports definitely. That's one. The next thing is that there was a need to re-establish the relationship between Liberia and Sierra Leone. And when I got in Sierra Leone with the ambulances, the people were cheering. This is why when we were going to Sierra Leone, my picture was not on the ambulance. It was a flag of Liberia on the ambulances. And when we arrived, the people were cheering for us on the street. Tear came in my eyes that we will be welcomed like that. And immediately I got at the hotel, BBC called me. We learned that you are in Sierra Leone. So what difference are you bringing to Sierra Leone in the fight against Ebola? The first thing I said to them, that Liberians are here to help the brothers and sisters. 2, we are here in Sierra Leone with ambulances, not armed and ammunition. Because the perception the Sierra Leoneans have grown up in the past, that Liberian carry war, kill the people there and what have you. That relationship, that story needed to be changed. That's why we risk our life. Anybody could have died among us. Anybody could have died among the crew members. I was going to be held responsible. But I encouraged them, gentlemen, follow the guidelines. I took even my own personal resources to lead a team. You understand? And I'm happy that we did it. That relationship is there. Today when you go to Sierra Leone, the first time in history between Liberia and Sierra Leone, that such a gesture came from Liberia to Sierra Leone.
You can't be 100% perfect in as much as you receive accolade from too many persons, but to some extent in yourself you will be disappointed in something perhaps you've not been able to achieve. What is that?
Well, I'm disappointed with the county development funds because I'm the kind of person I love to get work done.
Okay.
And when I came out of the national legislature and we went for our first county sitting, then the superintendent said, "Oh, all you need to do is to have your county sitting, submit your project, and then we implement your project."
Make it look easy.
very easy.
Yeah.
I was so happy. In fact, I sat down with the community leaders. We came up with all of the projects. We were supposed to build a bridge from 2 Saah to Dwantan. Every year, people die from that little water. Chocolate City to Snow Hill, people die from that place area to build those bridges. We're going to build clinics and build another bridge again of Dakwitan to Flanton. We did everything, have the resolution submitted since 2013 up to now. Only one we have touched, which is the New Georgia Clinic. That is frustrating. And I'm not of that nature that I have to come up and say, I want to get this done. And my prayer, if I wish I had additional resources on my own, I was going to give it and just get it done.
So your county sitting have been, your district sitting have been reduced to community sitting.
Exactly.
You divided
Yes.
into 0 community.
Exactly.
And that have been able to work well for you.
Oh, it's perfect because
the information is reaching out.
Information is reaching out. The individuals are giving us the view. I'm seeing the personal problem of those communities and those individuals. Some of those community leaders, when they come to me, they have their own agenda. They don't bring up the need of the community. But when I visit myself, not just talking, at the end of the day, they ask questions, walk around in the community, then we find solution to those problems. And let me just give you a personal invitation. Tuesday, we are going to another community to give another 100,000. No, Wednesday, to give another $100,000.
Okay.
So you definitely try to provide coverage.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you said that the proposed budget brought to the money of the legislature is being used for the project, I want to keep up with that because they do know that with the government of years long who are in that house there to continue to be in the position where they are. Because you know that some of your colleagues is not going to work for an kind of a month, they receive salary, so they do continue to use the money that they propose to be cut to be used for legislative projects or projects.
And I hope you didn't really say that.
Statement.
Okay, you didn't really say
Just
that. We'll
set up a special account.
He just set up a special account. In fact, he preferred the legislative project compared to the county development project. That's what he said. Good morning. 077773015. Too bad we have really called with time this morning. But just in case you did that, this caller, oh my, we lost out on that caller. 077773015. 0776. So sorry, man. We have to run into this because we follow the discussion. Hello. Good morning. Focus. Go ahead. Yeah. No, can't let me take Robert Williams quickly. Finally, Robert Williams quickly. Good morning. Yeah. Okay. Why? Okay. 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 Thank you, Robert Willer. No time. Honorable. Thank you so much. You want to become president?
In life, JKB,
Mm.
everything is step by step. Now I know what it means to be a representative.
Mm.
I know what it means to be a chairman on the committee.
Mm.
I don't know how to run a country.
You don't know?
So far about that. What I'm doing is to provide service for the people of Liberia.
Okay.
And this is the gift that God have given me. This is the opportunity that God have given me.
Mm.
Whenever I go out there,
Mm.
and even I sit home, people call me from the US, what can we do? How can we help?
Mm.
I get doctors coming, that want to bring medical equipment, medical supplies, a medical team. This is, I'm there to provide the services. But for now, I remain as a representative of district number 13.
But this statement, to some extent, in the distant future, could haunt you, because if you have said you don't know how to run the country, then it means you should not critique the person who is running the country.
Excuse me.
No, that's the interpretation.
No, that's not it.
If you can't run the country, why are you criticizing?
You don't think I need to learn more before I start even thinking about that?
Okay.
You don't think so?
Okay.
I need to learn. No, it's just learning process. When I went in the national legislature, I have learned a lot.
Okay.
So let's first of all, let me make it clear. No, I'm not thinking to become a president in 2017.
Okay.
We'll be back here again on Friday. Thanks to Solo and AB who have been sitting in all through the week. We are back here. Thanks to our management. Bye bye, man. Thanks to all of our callers.